everybody, and welcome back to yet another episode on Blitz Sports. Today will be a different type of episode as I'm talking NHL, NBA, with a guy who's been on the show a lot. Will, welcome back.
Hi, my name's Will. For all those who don't know me, I've been on here, like a million times already, but excited to talk NHL. It's a little, and NBA. It's a little bit of a change on this podcast.
Yeah, so let's get things ripping early here. Firing out the gates, a guy who has been playing outstanding for the New York Islanders, and a guy who's going to be, hopefully, a part of this franchise for a long time. First name starts with an N, last name starts with a D, his position starts with a D. Noah Dobson. Will, what are your thoughts on Dobson's season so far?
Noah Dobson, I've been very happy with him. He's still young. He's 22 in his fourth season, so for this, he's playing outstanding. So he's played all 17 games, which is always good. 5 goals, 10 assists, 15 points, and only 12 penalty minutes, which is not bad for a defenseman. He's just been really good for his age, especially, and that's why I have his jersey.
Yeah, but now let's go on a sour note here. Cal Clutterbuck. I love Cal. He's been on the team a long time. It's time for this man to go. You're telling me a guy who has 2 goals for you, 4 assists, 6 points, has about 12 minutes on ice per game, has 18 freaking penalty minutes? This is an Islanders team that is struggling. And if you're struggling too, you can't bring it down even more with giving teams multiple chances on the power play. Will, what are your thoughts with Cal Clutterbuck? And do you agree it's time to just let him go?
Cal, yeah, he's getting up there in age too. Yeah, like you said, 18 penalty minutes. That just can't happen. Cal, I love Cal. He's a great Islander. Scored that in Game 6 of the playoffs last year. Scored the first goal. Yeah, that was a disappointing night for me and you, Mike, because you were over my house watching it. And yeah, I don't want to get into that. Anyway, he's been meh. That's really what he's been, and he's old, so.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I will say the one thing about hockey, though, you get up to age 36, and it's not the end of the world, but it is up there. But, hockey, you're seeing ages now. I mean, hockey's definitely starting to become younger and younger, but also guys up there are still playing at a high level, like Alex Ovechkin. Now let's talk about Matthew Barzal. He just got the contract last year, missed most of last season, but he's made up for it so far this season. 15 points, 4 goals, 11 assists, and only 10 minutes with 19 minutes per game on the ice. Will?
Yeah, you gotta love Matt Barzal. I mean, he's so good. He's so fast. He's got a nice shot to him. He's just a great player, great young player, and honestly, that's all I got to say about him because he's just been great since he was a rookie, and you gotta love Matt Barzal.
Yeah, definitely. And now we're gonna go to another wing. This time it's our left wing, one of Will's all-time favorite Islanders, Anders Lee. I mean, what is this? I've said it before. I think it's time to let Lee go. I think you gotta trade him. He has good value. This is a team that's struggling. And I think he's also been part of the struggles. 2 goals, 1 assist, 3 points. 10 penalty minutes, 15 minutes on ice per game. Will, what are your thoughts on Lee?
I'm sorry, Mike, but not being biased, but I really don't agree. I mean, Lee's a great Islander. He's not going to be in a Hall of Fame one day, but he's a great Islander. And, he's my favorite player. But slow start to the season, only 17 games in, and everybody has a bad season for the most part in his career. He's been really good, always scoring more than 20 goals. So, yeah, and he's gotten a lot of assists too. It's just one slow start to the season. I don't think he should go.
Yeah, that is true.
But Mike, I have some guy I want to talk about. I want to talk about Simon Holmstrom. I mean, in 16-game play, only 4 points, but he's a reason that Islanders have won some games. He's just been great scoring goals.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and also things I do want to bring out is some guys have played some really good hockey. I mean, there are guys we're not going to bring up right now that are playing well. And I think a position that has been playing well is really that center position. I mean, you're thinking about Barzal, Horvat, Nelson, Palmieri, who I think is definitely a guy they might look to trade at the deadline. He's looked just slow out the gate. I just don't think he has that same spark. I know he has 10 points, 4 goals, but I just feel like this is a center position that has so much depth that Palmieri is just not a guy we truly need. I mean, if you're looking at Barzal, Horvat, Brock Nelson, Cizikas, Pajot, I mean, this is a very good center position. Do we need a guy like Palmieri, or could we trade him for a potential Cal Clutterbuck replacement? Will?
I don't think so. Because you gotta remember, Barzal's a winger now with Horvat at center, so Barzal could still be on the first line. So that's why we still have Cizikas and stuff. So that's one thing you gotta just remember. Barzal's a winger, so I think that's why we should trade him, because we kind of need Palmieri, and he should be playing really well.
Now let's talk about some goaltending here. Both goalies have been off to rough starts. I mean, I just feel that Sorokin, he's 4-3 with 4 overtime losses. Varlamov had a good start. He was 2-0. He had a shutout. And now I just feel like, man, what's going on?
Well, Mike, you gotta remember,
the defense has not been there as well.
Sometimes it's the goalie's fault, but sometimes you mostly gotta just blame the defense. Sometimes,
yeah.
Goalie's one of the hardest positions in sports.
Yes.
For soccer and NHL, but yeah. So
you could even say catching is considered goaltending, and that's not an easy position to play either.
Mike, actually, I have seen it. The top 10 hardest positions to play, I think catcher's number 1.
It should be. You're catching curveballs, changeups, 100-mile-an-hour fastballs, having to lay tags down on relays, finding drop third strikes, basically catching every pitch thrown, framing, catching runners going. It's a lot. And all this, and you still have to give a signal to the pitcher what pitch to throw. But
all that, you and a lot of catchers get injured for plays at the plate, and all this, they have to throw it back when the runner's stealing, they have to
get up, pop time,
squatting down, so they have to pop up in a second too. Anyway, back to the Islanders.
Yeah, so I do think Sorokin and Varlamov will get on a hot streak, but the Islanders' offense needs to prevent. Well, not the offense, because when they're going into these overtimes, it's a 4-4 game. Yesterday, we were up, 3-2? And it was 4-4 going into overtime. I mean, come on. Let's go.
Better defense.
The offense cannot be scoring 4 points, and you still go into overtime because you give up 4 goals. I mean, it's terrible.
That's what I mean about the defense, though. That's why you got to mostly.
And this also goes to
defenders too.
Yes,
good
I know.
Defenders. And most people would say honestly, sometimes I wish we still had Barry Trotz to maintain his defense. We have the offense.
So now, speaking of Barry Trotz, let's get into one of the biggest debated questions. Do you fire Lambert? I mean, the players seem to like him, but I think it's time to just let him go. I mean, this is a team that just looks horrible. This is a team that just doesn't look good. We need a defensive coach who focuses on defense, and the Islanders who is now an aggressive offense. They're doing pretty good with power play goals. They're 11th with 22.9% on power plays. That's very good for the Islanders, but they're 31st in penalty kill. They're 69.5 in power kill. That is not good. You should be in the 75% range.
Yeah, Lambert, he's just, if they're going to fire him, they got to fire him early. Like, I'm talking, like this week, next week. Like, they got to fire him. Because if the Islanders want to make the playoffs this season, they need a spark. And
they do. And this
is
a team,
by the head coach.
They need a defensive-minded coach and a disciplined coach. They are 13th in penalty minutes. And when you're going into overtime in 4-4 games, that's the reason why. And when you have the 31st worst power kill, you're not going to win games. Let's face it. That's why we're going into shootouts. Yesterday, I'm listening to the Islanders game on the radio upstairs, and I'm freaking out because me and Will were texting. We're like, we're not going to win. We can't win in a shootout.
We never have. We never do. That's what I meant.
It's just, things got to change, and it starts with firing Lambert, and I think it might be time to move on from Lou Lamoriello. It just seems that the Islanders are putting out the same roster every season. If you look at this roster compared to last year, where's the differences?
Just Horvat and Engvall, that's all.
Yeah, where's the difference? This is a team that got embarrassed in the first round of the playoffs in that somehow goal went right through Varlamov's, was it Varlamov?
I don't even remember. It's got to be Sorokin.
I think, yes, it was Sorokin. But
it's
still,
Game 6 and they're on the line.
This is a team where we have not been in a Stanley Cup in a long time. Things got to change.
I mean, Tampa Bay
was close, yes. Yes. But you just have to, you got to make some changes. You can't be putting out the same roster every year when you have a Bruins team that is destroying every team they play. The Rangers. I mean, let's go.
The Devils are good.
Yes.
The Devils are a very good team, and they lost 5-3 to the Rangers.
Exactly. Like, things have to change. You got to put out new guys. I mean, this team is good. Don't get me wrong. They're not playing good, but they have the skill to be good. But things got to change now because things just aren't working. So I think it's time to move on from Lou Lamoriello and just go in a different direction. Maybe hire the assistant general manager of the Rangers, the Bruins, somebody, Tampa, just somebody, because things need to change.
Yeah, so, like you were saying, like, I really think, like, the Islanders are a very good team, I think, and they make the playoffs every year. But I'm tired of watching the playoffs and get eliminated in whatever round. Yeah. It's usually the last round, the conference finals or whatever they're called. Oh, wait, that's NBA. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, but we made it there twice. It just can't happen. It really can't. We just gotta at least make it. Because those years where we lost to, those 2 years that we lost to, the Lightning, we would have locked down those opponents. Friggin', Dallas Stars, I think we would have beat them. Yeah. And Montreal, who had a losing record, we would have beat them.
Yeah. All right. So now, I think that's enough for the Islanders. Now let's head into, if not one of the best teams in New York right now, the New York Knicks. I mean, I think the Rangers are definitely playing better than the Knicks. I mean, I know it's hard to compare sports, but I think the Knicks are probably the second best team in New York, now not counting the Devils. I mean, the Devils are not better than the Knicks, but I'm just saying.
Jersey.
What?
You mean Bill?
Oh, Bills. Sorry, yes, Bills. Sorry. I'm in hockey season. Football's nothing right now. Football's nothing.
Yeah.
And another thing, I just want to shout out it is rumored that the Giants might fire Kafka at the end of the season. But before you get mad, I know this wasn't supposed to happen, but apparently Daboll's kind of interested in taking over the play calling roles. Apparently there's been rumors that Kafka and Daboll have not been on the same page. They have not been liking each other. I think there has been arguments that have yet to been, brought out to the public between the two. Whether it's Daboll taking control of the play callings at some point of the season. I do think the Giants next season, their offensive coordinator, Ken Dorsey.
Yeah.
I think Daboll will bring somebody back he coached with in Buffalo that he really did like. That is what I think it'll look like. Dorsey will be our offensive coordinator, which I'm not mad at all. I've kind of had it with Kafka. I think he's made some really questionable play calls this year.
Yeah, this year he can't. Remember when we watched the Raiders game with each other? He was passing on 3rd and 2.
I know.
Really, and then he was calling the tush push every 3rd and 1.
Tush push got to go. I mean, this is just a Giants team that cannot handle a tush push. So let's face it.
Our offensive line is crappy.
So now let's bring it in to the New York Knicks. This is a Knicks team that has looked spectacular to watch. This is a Knicks team we've never seen. This is a team that's hitting practically every shot they take. It is awesome to watch, especially coming from watching the Islanders and Giants.
The Knicks. The thing about the Knicks, they are really good. They have really good talent, but sometimes when they face a better, their first matchup against the Celtics this year, they only lost by 4. But the Celtics dominated us. We gotta, so we'll face, good teams, but when we face, teams like the Celtics, we seem to struggle a little. So they're really fun to watch the Knicks, especially the crowd in Madison.
The thing is, though, when you're struggling in the beginning of a season against a good team, that's fine. It's when you're struggling towards the end of the season against really good competition, that's when you get a little nervous. But if they're struggling with Porzingis in the beginning of the year, I'm okay with that.
Yeah. So the Knicks, they're a fun team to watch, man. Quickly, Brunson, DiVincenzo, Hartenstein.
Yeah. So let's talk about a player that has surprised everyone right now, and who I think is one of my favorite players to watch right now, DiVincenzo. I mean, 15.5 points per game, averaging 20.7 minutes. Oh, sorry. He's averaging 9 points a game, which is a bit of a downgrade compared to some other guys, but that's okay.
He's not Brunson. Most of our points come from Brunson, Randall, and Quickly. And he was getting those other points. He could shoot. He's quick. Mm-hmm. He could shoot. He's quick. He's a good passer. Mm-hmm. And smart move by the Knicks to bring him in.
Oh yeah, got him from Golden State.
No, but the thing is, Brunson went to Villanova. We got Brunson last year.
Hartenstein?
No, not Hartenstein.
Oh, not Hartenstein. Sorry.
Hart.
Josh Hart. Yeah, Josh Hart.
Josh Hart went to Villanova, so they brought him in mid-season last year. And then DiVincenzo went to Villanova. They brought him in this year.
Yeah.
It's just...
And that was the Villanova team that went all the way in March Madness and won.
Yeah.
So you can't tell me that was that is just smart general manager right there. It's just, okay, so this team goes all the way. Let's bring their core back. Why not?
Yeah, for real.
Jalen Brunson, 24.2 points per game, 35.2 minutes. He's looked incredible. And he has 3.4 rebounds on the year with 5 assists. You cannot be mad at that.
No,
and he only has 2 turnovers per game on average. That is really good for Jalen Brunson. If this is a guy who's going up for the layups, going up for things, that's spectacular.
Yeah, Brunson going to the Knicks, I feel kind of changed his career. He was always a good player, but under Luka, I feel no one really noticed him. And
Yeah.
now that he's the best player in New York, he's going off, man. He's good, man.
Yeah. Another guy who I've liked, Mitchell Robinson. I mean, there's nothing not to like about him right now. He has 0.4 turnovers. He leads the team in rebounds with 11.6. Like,
yeah, he doesn't really get. Sorry to interrupt you, but he doesn't really get those points. Like, I think last game he dropped 4. But when you're getting like 15 rebounds a game, that helps the team so much. Rebounds, everybody cares about the points, like the fun stuff. But rebounds, I love rebounds, man.
And also, he's had he averages not even 1 turnover a game. That is spectacular for a guy who's getting those rebounds and having to pass the ball out a lot. That is really good. And that's why I think the Knicks are really taking this next step this year to where they're going to make a decent run in the playoffs.
They will.
A guy that does need to start picking it up is truly, if I'm being honest, nobody.
For real.
Like, I mean, you could say, not Evan Fournier. Who do you think?
No, because he doesn't play.
I mean,
Miles Fry doesn't play.
No.
It's Robinson and Up who plays on. If you're looking at the shooting stats on ESPN.
Like, there's up and down. Maybe you could say Josh Hart could improve with the points a little bit, but at the same time,
sometimes he shoots a 3 and he doesn't make it.
So I will say that is a guy that definitely
and it's like an open 3 too.
Yeah, Hart is 41.9 field goal percentage, 3-point percentage 31. I mean, Jalen Brunson, I'm looking at this thing, 47.7% on the 3-point shooting. That is spectacular. DiVincenzo, 40. RJ Barrett, 46.7. I mean, Will, let's talk about RJ Barrett, a guy who Knicks fans have been, killing, as he's been listed as a pretty big draft bust. But I think we're seeing a very good RJ Barrett and Julius Randle.
I don't think any Knicks fan thought he was a bust. I think they were just a little disappointed in him. You gotta think, he got drafted as a literal kid, 18 years old, going up against a Jack LeBron James, like, sometimes, and he's a kid. He's 18, and now that he's, 22, he's picking up the pace, and he's playing really good. And not to mention, for his other years, he played good too. He's just not what everybody wanted. And in the 2019 draft, it went Zion Williamson first pick, second pick was John Morant, and the third pick was RJ Barrett. And honestly, even though Ja and Zion Williamson are better than him, we got the best pick because RJ Barrett, you want to know something? Actually plays.
Yeah.
He actually plays.
So now, let's talk about some, team stats, averages. Knicks average about 111 points per game. That's 20th, but that's okay because we're winning. I would win 2-0, and I'd be happy. Obviously that would never happen, but Yeah. Assists per game. 23.6, that is 27th, but yet again, if you're winning, it's okay. Rebounds per game, the Knicks are 3rd. Thank you, Mitchell Robinson, Hartenstein.
Isaiah Hartenstein, too. And I see DiVincenzo getting in there. He's got hops, man.
So, they 47.2 rebounds per game. That is incredible. That is game-changing. Turnovers per game, they are 3rd.
Especially on offensive rebounds.
Yeah. They are 3rd. Turnovers per game, 12.1. Field goal percentage, 44.3. That is 26th. Yet again, if you're winning games, it's okay. Later in the season, though, I would like to see this number go up. Free throw percentage, 29th. That has to change. I mean, it's just, they're 72.3 on the year in free throw percentage. I'm sorry, but that just needs to change.
Oh, yeah, they're terrible. They're terrible in free throw. They give it, I remember watching one game. someone got fouled.
Yeah.
And it was one of those fouls where it was just one free throw shot when no one was around you, so you could give it to whoever. Tom Thibodeau gives it to Jalen Brunson. That's a smart decision. Jalen Brunson breaks.
Yeah.
Like, we've been terrible in the free throw, and it's not even like our big men are, like, shooting free throws.
Yeah.
Like, our actual shooters are shooting free throws, and we're missing them. That's something they got to work on. And let's talk about Tom Thibodeau. Do you like him, Mike? Because I really do.
Yes, I do like him, but I'm not a huge fan of his appearance. He just looks like that guy that was just called off the couch to just start coaching, practically making a reference towards Jeff Saturday. But I do like what he has done with this team, and I think he is a very good coach. And also, on a side note, talking about a good coach, Nick Pitino of St. John's has been incredible for the Johnnies. They have looked like a completely different team. Former Knicks basketball coach, actually. But no, Tom Thibodeau has been a phenomenal coach, and I think he will be their coach for a long time. Now.
Yeah, and when we started making the playoffs in 2020, guess who they brought in that year? Tom Tibbs.
Yep.
He's a great defensive coach because that's what he focuses on mostly, and our offense could still run with him. So.
Yeah. All right, let's talk with one of the best stats of the Knicks this year. 3-point percentage, 38.1, fifth in the league. That's incredible. And truly, that's why I think the Knicks are winning games. I just watched this team just draining 3 for 3, 3 for 3, 3 for 3.
Yeah, and when you mix threes with the Garden, it goes insane. Knicks games, Mike, are so fun.
Yeah.
I went to one before. You got to try it.
Yeah, and you have to think about this. 3-point percentage, if you're fifth in the league and you're third in the league with rebounds per game, if you miss a 3, that's okay because the Knicks are rebounding that 3 practically every time.
Yeah.
It's awesome. And steals per game, 12th. That is awesome. Because if you're third in turnovers per game, you could make it up with 8 steals per game.
Yeah.
So, that's basically it for this episode. So, let's face it, New York sports taking a big hit this year when we all thought this was the year for many New York sports teams.
Yeah, so basically, New York sports, I'm saying we got 3 good teams.
Yep.
I think the Islanders will come with a bounce back. I think that win is what they need. And these next 3 games, they should win all of them, honestly. I think the Isles make the playoffs. Because you remember last year, they started off the season awesome.
Yeah.
And then started horrible for 1.5 months. And then they started winning again and they made the playoffs.
Yeah, but I just feel that that's a very bold statement. This team, there has to be many changes made before you could make a claim like that. Because I think this team just looks terrible right now. So I do think changes will be made, and they should be made. But other than that, I don't think it's out of the question. But now, it's not looking good.
The problem about the Islanders and why they don't make changes, they have great players. Brock Nelson, they have great players for all their position, and then when they're not great, they're okay and they get the job done.
Yeah,
I think one guy who gotta go is Cal Clutterbuck.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
But
and even the Matt Martin. But I do think he does bring that good spark. I do love Matt Martin.
No, Matt Martin, we gotta keep it. I mean, he won't be on the team next year because his contract's going out. No one wants to sign him. But Matt Martin is our guy. He's the guy. He can't shoot. He's just not very good at playing hockey, but he's good of protecting his teammates.
Yep.
And sometimes he does get a goal in.
Yeah. And I am very happy that the Islanders no longer have Josh Bailey.
Yeah. Josh Bailey, though, he's a great Islander.
I know.
He wasn't like a great player, but he was a great Islander.
It was just
Everybody
it was
loved
time.
him.
It was time.
Hey, Josh Bailey. You know that chant? That was awesome.
Yeah. So that's it. Thank you for listening. By the way, hint, might be some big episode on Blitz Sports coming up. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram, Blitz Sports with MJL24. Thank you for listening.